Thank you, Dan. Good evening, everybody. It's another big week ahead in the roadmap out of the pandemic. Monday is the day when a few select countries will open their doors once more to British tourists. From June the 21st, the hope is that we can all dig out our flip-flops and beach towels. West Ham fans have more reason than most to hope their passports will not stay locked away, gathering dust this summer. Most Premier League managers come out in a cold sweat when presented with the prospect of a Sunday-Thursday fixture list and having to travel to far-flung corners of Europe. But David Moyes isn't one of them. While the Hammers' unlikely Champions League push may have stalled recently, Moyes says he is desperate to at least qualify for the Europa League, or at the very worst, the inaugural Europa Conference League. A first ever top-flight win on Brighton soil will go a long way to making that dream a reality. The Seagulls are already guaranteed a fifth successive season in the Premier League, but can still set a new club record for their highest points tally in the competition. That, David Connolly, makes this a very dangerous fixture for your former club.
Yeah, it does. Look, make no mistake, David Moyes knows this will be a very, very tough game. We've been in, Alex, we covered quite a few games, haven't we, where Brighton have been absolutely brilliant, dominated the ball. They were superb against Leeds, and Leeds shown today, obviously, how they brushed Burnley aside. But obviously, on their day, Brighton, they're a match for anyone.
And it's already been a fantastic day on game day across the TalkSport network. We should say hearty congratulations to Leicester City. They beat Chelsea by 1-0 live on TalkSport in the FA Cup final in front of over 20,000 fans at Wembley. Delirium for those Foxes supporters. And this morning from the Premier League, another emphatic victory for Marcelo Bielsa and Leeds United. They pumped Burnley by 4-0. The big games come thick and fast tomorrow. More live football on the TalkSport network, including the Women's Champions League final. Chelsea taking on Barcelona, hoping to bring some joy to the blue half of West London. That is an 8 o'clock kickoff live on TalkSport. Before that, here on TalkSport 2, Crystal Palace hosting Aston Villa. That's a midday kickoff. And then from Monday, the most exciting time of the year in the EFL, we've got the playoffs from Leagues 2, League 1 and the Championship, all live and exclusive across the TalkSport network. David Connolly, what a time of the season this is.
Yeah, it is, and I guess tricky bum time for some of them. And obviously I think West Ham, they really need a win, don't they? And I think that obviously if they do, they can put a little bit of pressure on Tottenham before they kick off tomorrow.
Well, we are just about ready for kick-off here at the Amex. 2 changes for Brighton, both in force. Lewis Duncan, Neil Maupay suspended, Stephen Alzate and Jakob Moder are the players who come into the lineup. West Ham make a trio of alterations from their defeat against Everton. Crucially, Declan Rice back after missing the last 6 games due to injury. Angelo Ogbonna and Gerard Bowen are the other players who come into the side. Andre Mariner, the referee, has blown his first whistle, which is once again a signal for both sets of players and coaching staff to take a knee. An important message continues to be sent out around the Premier League, but we are off and underway here in the heart of the Sussex Downs, the Amex Stadium, live on TalkSport 2 on game day. West Ham all in black, attacking the goal away to our left-hand side in this first half, and straight away Thomas Souček tries to make a pest of himself, cleared upfield by Webster. Brighton in their blue jerseys, white shorts and blue socks, attacking the goal away to our right-hand side. A series of banners behind it. Come on Brighton in bold yellow lettering reads 1. And of course we hope this is the last time that we have to commentate a game here at the Amex without any supporters in situ. Just looking at the Brighton lineup, David Connolly, we were wondering about the shape. It is a back 3, Sanchez in goal, White, Webster and Byrne in defence. Looks like Alzate is playing on the right hand side of midfield, with Jahanbakhsh Basuma in the middle, Moder as the left wing back, and then Gross behind Welbeck and Trossard. For West Ham, much more straightforward. Fabianski is the goalkeeper, Soufal, Dawson, Ogbonna and Cresswell, who picked up a dead leg against Everton but is fit to start. Souček and Rice in front of them, Fornals, Lingard and Bowen behind Antonio up front. And here is Jesse Lingard wearing gloves. It's not a particularly cold night compared to some that we've seen this season. But here is the Manchester United loanee, midway inside Brighton territory, scoops it over the top, looking for the run of Fornals, crosses into the penalty area, it's behind Antonio, and swept clear in the end by Moder. Good start this from West Ham.
Yeah, really good. I mean, look, there's a lot of water on the pitch. I mean, they were spraying it for a long time, and as they're zipping it around, it's just skidding off the turf, so it makes it for, I guess, a really quick surface, and they have started very well, the Hammers. Nice little ball in behind, wasn't it, from Lingard? Spotted the run from Fornals. Just maybe Jarrod Bowen a little bit caught on his heels at the back post.
Play 2 minutes. Brighton 0, West Ham 0 here on game day. Brighton, the draw specialists of the Premier League. Graham Potter, their manager, has overseen 27 stalemates since taking charge in 2019. As Antonio again looks to make a run in behind the Brighton back line. He was just offside according to the assistant over on that far touchline, so it will be a free kick for the hosts. Brighton playing their 150th Premier League game. They've never lost to West Ham in the competition.
Well, I just wonder, a couple of balls now, you know, the Hammers have put in over Pascal Gross, who has played, he's played right wing back before, hasn't he? I saw him do that against Southampton, I think, in the second half, but obviously traditionally a centre midfielder, really, number 10, number 8, but maybe a couple of times they just looked to just drop the ball over his shoulder.
It's been a problem area for Brighton because always make a mistake inside the penalty area. Webster there playing a hospital pass back to the goalkeeper Sanchez, who just about cleared it away, with Lingard bearing down. He wants to play this back three, Graham Potter. It's his preferred system, but they've basically had to do it for much of the season without both their first choice wing backs in Tarek Lamptey and Solly March, who've been injured. Here is Alzate though, looking to release Gross down the right. Good ball. Gross on the edge of the penalty area, cuts the cross back slightly behind Trossard, who was lurking, but they've not really dealt with it yet, West Ham. In the end, it is Cresswell who plays it against Trossard and behind for a goal kick. First real attacking flurry that we've seen from Brighton.
Yeah, I mean, Declan Rice just dispossessed here, and they countered really well. I mean, there's an awful lot of space for Gross. Fornals was caught a little bit narrow, but maybe just two players in the box. No one really has a late runner on the edge. And that cross was slightly behind those two front men in there. Just looking at Trossard, he is operating, I think, just off Welbeck, isn't he? As a sort of number 10 in behind.
Yeah, Danny Welbeck hunting his 50th Premier League goal tonight, scored 4 over the course of his career against West Ham. It's been a frustration for him and for Graham Potter that the ex-Manchester United and Arsenal striker hasn't been able to stay fit for any concerted period of time. I guess that, in a snapshot, is the story not just of his season but also in many ways of his career. Very promising England player at one stage, Danny Welbeck.
Just looking at Fabianski, he's got to be really accurate with his kicks. I mean, that's where they've got to find Souček. You know, he's up there trying to go up against that big back three, and he just dropped that one really short, went straight out of play.
That's the views of David Connolly, who counts West Ham among his former clubs here on Game Day on TalkSport 2. It's West Ham starting on the front foot. Bowen inside the penalty area, tried to cut the cross back, cleared by Webster again, and Basuma having almost to drop into a back four at times, but he's played it forward and he's released Leandro Trossard, who's gobbled up the ground quickly. And I'm not really too sure what he was attempting there, Trossard. I think he's a bit fortunate that his attempted hoik forward just bounced off a West Ham player and behind for the first corner of the evening.
Well, I tell you what, they've countered really well here, Brighton, when they've turned the ball over. Look really dangerous and threatening. And Pascal Gross on the overlap down the right hand side, and those two wing backs will flood forward, and this is promising for them. Obviously that height they've got, the set pieces will be really important.
This is where they really miss Lewis Dunk though. Ben White, Adam Webster, Dan Burn have all come forward. Webster's never scored here at the Amex. Dan Burn and Ben White have never scored a Brighton goal. Now would be a good time for them to change that in the absence of Dunk, who carries such a threat from these set-piece situations. Played in by Gross towards the goalkeeper. Fabianski under pressure, punches clear. Here's your handbacks now, the Iranian towards the far post, teasing ball in. Nobody in blue could get on the end of it, and it will be cleared upfield now by Vladimir Soufal, the Czech Republic right back. Good ball, wasn't it, whipped back in by your handbacks, David, crying out to be attacked.
Yeah, it's just slightly in front. I think it was too far ahead of a lot of the Brighton players. Bit too close maybe to the goalkeeper as well.
And here is Webster, Sussex born, came through the academy at Portsmouth just along the south coast. He's had a really impressive season, Brighton, with a decent defensive record over the course of the campaign. Here's Lingard trying to change that, plays it out to the left hand side, and the pink booted Pablo Fornals back to Declan Rice, wearing that captain's armband. And his right upper forearm, Declan Rice, and he's played it out to the right, and Soufal. West Ham dominating possession, but Brighton have looked dangerous when they've had the opportunity to counter inside these first 7 minutes. Goalless so far under the floodlights of the Amex as Soufal crosses into the area, again just behind Antonio. It looked for a moment as if it was going to be a pinpoint pass, but I think David has already mentioned the wet surface and it just skipped away from Antonio, and Brighton clear to the halfway line.
Yeah, it was unlucky. I mean, they loaded the box there. They've got Souček in there waiting for that delivery from Soufal. And I was looking, Antonio, I think he's got, since he made his debut, I read this, 19 headed goals. No one scored more. I think Giroud and Kane have got pretty similar, got the same. That's some stat, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Considering that, unlike Giroud and Kane, he isn't really an out-and-out number 9. He isn't a central striker. He's
not 6'2", is he? Or
no.
6'3" or whatever.
Is that just hard work in training, working on his jump, working on his timing?
Yeah, and positioning as well. Intelligent positioning, getting in between players, getting across players.
He scored 9 goals this season, Mikel Antonio, in an injury-interrupted campaign. Such an important part of David Moyes' plans. Here is Lingard, who certainly you can say the same for him since he came in from Manchester United. He's been a breath of fresh air, hasn't he? And here he is, Lingard, attacking the left corner flag. He's got 2 Brighton players for company, can't keep the ball, and it will be cleared away by Jahanbakhsh. Now Zate with a chance to sprint away from Pablo Fornals into the West Ham half. Across comes Thomas Souček, but they still have possession with Jahanbakhsh, Brighton, and he can switch it out to that left touchline where it's controlled on the chest by Modder. His ball aimed in at Danny Welbeck, intercepted by Declan Rice, and West Ham have it back, much to Graham Potter's frustration. Just turned his back on the play there. The former Swansea manager knew that his team were building an attack that threatened to have some purpose, and it all broke down. Here's Webster now, centre of the Brighton half.
I mean, you just saw West Ham there in a nutshell, how they've evolved. You know, the ball gets into someone like Jesse Lingard, looks like an absolute Rolls Royce out there, just glides along the turf so quick. Same with Antonio, Bowen. You know, they've got a lot of pace in their team now. The only one area they don't is looking at Fornals. He looks a little bit vulnerable out on this side on the turnover. He's not able to keep up with the likes of the Brighton players when they do break forward.
Declan Rice has just been tripped by Jahanbakhsh. Ben White having made a 40-yard run to try and get Brighton on the attack. It's a free kick for West Ham right in the middle of their half, away to our right. Jesse Lingard, who David Connolly was talking about there, did have a loan spell here on the Sussex coast back in 2017. 4 goals in 17 appearances for the Seagulls. Famously, he scored 4 goals in 1 game for Birmingham in the Championship during another loan spell. And his numbers since joining West Ham have been mightily impressive. 9 goals and 3 assists in 13 appearances. If they are going to qualify for Europe this season, his signing in January will have to go down as one of the key moments of the campaign. Sanchez, the orange-shirted Brighton goalkeeper, plays it short inside the 18-yard box to Webster. Here's Dan Burn, who at times this season has played as a left-back. He's played as a left wing-back. He's on the left side of a back 3 this evening in the absence of Lewis Dunk, the captain. One of 2 players sent off in that ill-tempered game against Wolverhampton Wanderers last time out. Neil Maupay dismissed in stoppage time as well. It's Brighton who have it with Jahanbakhsh midway inside their own half. Ben White will come forward. Pace of the game is just slowed in the last 90 seconds or so. Here is Alzate, the Colombian, for Brighton. Basuma takes over inside the centre circle. He'll play it to his left and Burn. We've played 11 minutes, it's still goalless here on Game Day on TalkSport 2. Pascal Gross trying to raid down the Brighton right. Comes infield away from Fornals. Very clever player, Pascal Gross. Not the quickest, but he makes good use of his movement. Jesse Lingard has just been caught in possession. Basuma forward to Trossard. Now Jahanbakhsh down the Brighton right. Gross has made that run ahead of him. Cuts the cross all the way along the 6-yard box. Again, there was nobody on the end of it. And West Ham clear it as far as Webster on the halfway line.
And he's just a bit overhit though, I think, that one from Gross. Too much pace on it. He's got to try and maybe pick somebody out.
Here is Jahanbakhsh. Scoops it over the top. Alzate and Welbeck in the centre. Tell you what, that was a really important intervention from Dawson. Welbeck would have had a clean shot at goal, but for the pinpoint positioning of Craig Dawson just to stab the ball clear. Good spell this from Brighton. West Ham having started in the ascendancy the home team just beginning to take control of the game. 0-0, 12 minutes gone.
Yeah, you're right. Terrific interception here, and they can pick a pass under Graham Potter. Vital there from Dawson. Just took it off the toe of Danny Welbeck, who was more or less on the penalty spot.
Cresswell, who plays it across the West Ham defence to Dawson. And Dawson switches the play out to the right. And Vladimir Soufal. West Ham content just to play the ball around inside their own half. Cresswell again looks to go forward to Fornals. Gross making it difficult for Fornals to really work some space, and as he tried to spray it to the halfway line to Antonio, Webster came sliding in using that greasy surface, heavily watered as David has articulated, plus plenty of rain around in the area this afternoon. He slides in and wins it back for Brighton.
Well, as soon as they do turn the ball over, Brighton, they do like to go back to their goalkeeper, don't they? It's like what you work off on the training ground, and you like to restart these patterns, and they just try and make the pitch really big, suck West Ham out and create those little spaces. The likes of Webster backpedal to face play, and as I said, it just tries to, I guess, create a little bit of space for them to move in, and then the midfielders come off in pockets like this, and suddenly they're sort of toying with West Ham and picking players up in these little positions that are dangerous.
One of the big calls that Graham Potter made earlier in the season to dispense with the services of Matty Ryan, who had been the number one since promotion from the Championship. Brought in Robert Sanchez, the 6'6" Spaniard. He's on the cusp of a call-up by his country for the upcoming European Championships. A mark of how well he's done, 10 clean sheets since replacing Ryan. As Brighton almost get caught playing their way out from the back there. Souček sliding in but couldn't quite dispossess Jahanbakhsh. Here's Alzate, 2 yards inside the Brighton half. Forward he goes to Jahanbakhsh. He's seen plenty of the ball early on, and now Danny Welbeck inside the penalty area. Needs some support. He's up against Ogbonna. Plays it out to the left and Modder. Here's Alzate now, left corner of the 18-yard box. Welbeck and Gross waiting in the centre. Brighton trying to play their way through, but West Ham defending doggedly. Here's Jahanbakhsh again. He rolls it into Modder. He might try and get across him from that left-hand side. Dances past a couple of challengers, pulls it back looking for Jahanbakhsh, and the slide tackle this time from Bowen. And suddenly West Ham are not only in possession, but they're coming forward with Lingard. He's got an awful lot of work to do. A perfectly timed tackle from Bissouma only helps the ball to Fornals, though. Lingard felt the force of the challenge, but he clearly won the ball. Jesse Lingard stays down, and Pablo Fornals is going to have to roll the ball out of play so that he can receive some treatment.
Well, it was a heavy challenge here, you're right, on the turnover. I think it was Modder just left the ball short for Jahanbakhsh, and then West Ham counted, and that is when they're really dangerous. I think Bissouma obviously knows that. If the likes of Lingard do receive possession, we've got to try and win it early. Ball goes past all man, but not both. And here it seemed like he got I don't even know if he did get a piece of the ball there. I'm not so sure. I think he might have been a little bit lucky there, Bissouma. I mean, David Moyes is saying to the assistant referee here, have you not seen that? I mean, it looked like he got a piece of it, but on second viewings, I'm not so sure.
You're listening to Brighton against West Ham on TalkSport 2 with Now. Don't forget, with Now you can watch Brighton against West Ham live right now on Sky Sports for just £9.99. Search Now Sports. And Jesse Lingard is back on his feet. And West Ham have possession over on the right-hand side. 0-0 the score. We've played 16 minutes here on TalkSport 2 on game day. The final instalment of what's been an action-packed afternoon, not just in the Premier League, but in the FA Cup as well. Leicester City 1-0 winners against Chelsea at Wembley to win the famous trophy for the first time. West Ham have won their first corner here, David Conley.
Yeah, I mean, it's another really good ball, just in behind the wing-backs, and they've done that a couple of times, ever so well, down into the corner. Bowen chased after it, tried to get across the box. There wasn't really anyone in there, so I think the corner's probably the best he could have hoped for.
Well, this is where David Moyes may well have targeted Brighton over the course of his trading sessions this week. No Lewis Dunk to head the ball away, needs a good delivery, didn't get one. Basuma just stoops on the edge of the 6-yard box left-hand side and gets plenty of distance on the header and clears it out of play for a throw just inside the Brighton half. That was a poor ball in.
Yeah, they've got to beat the first man. Obviously they'll know, won't they, from the reverse game. Souček with the head up. What a threat they are, especially the likes of Souček.
Long punt upfield this time by West Ham. Souček tries to get underneath it, actually heads it away from goal, but it's collected by Fornals coming in from this left touch line. Rolls it into Lingard in the centre of midfield. Jesse Lingard Sweeps it back out to the left-hand side, and Cresswell. There are plenty of black shirts to aim at in the centre. Fornals with a cross, looping one, headed up but not too far away by Webster. Dan Burn completes the clearance, and it will be Declan Rice now to play it back into the West Ham half, and Dawson. Bonner taking over, the Italian. And here's Cresswell now, down the West Ham left. Fornals skips away from Gross and plays it infield to Souček. Fornals has got it back. Cresswell have made a lung-busting burst on the overlap, didn't find him. And then Basuma has just left one on Jesse Lingard, and this time it is a yellow card.
Yeah.
Maybe an overspill to that earlier incident.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, to be honest, there was less contact there on Lingard than there was on the first challenge, but I think it's just a totting up process here. And I think Basuma's obviously tasked with every time they know that Jesse's the one to watch. If he receives possession, doesn't matter how deep he is. What you would say is, I mean, it's 5 yards over the halfway line. There's no need to make that foul there. Lingard's going backwards, going nowhere, so don't need a yellow there. We've seen this before, haven't we, from Basuma? Getting booked early on, and then I think Potter's had that decision to make. What do I do? Do I leave him on, or do I take him off? And risk being down to 10. So, he's got to be able to trust him now. No more mistakes.
First booking of the evening goes the way of Yves Basuma. And the free kick from Cresswell launched into the penalty area. Danny Welbeck back to head it clear. It's picked up by Lingard again. Off balance, still manages to find Fornals. I think he was having his shirt pulled there by Pascal Gross. Lingard. Referee plays an advantage because West Ham still have possession with Dawson just inside his own half away to our right. Rice plays it low out to Lingard on this near touchline. Right in front of us in the press area here in the main stand at the Amex Stadium. There'll be 7,900 spectators in here when Brighton take on Manchester City live on TalkSport on Tuesday night. West Ham winning a corner. Their second in relatively quick succession. Didn't do much with the first one. It will be Cresswell to play it in from the left-hand side. Every outfield player is inside the Brighton half of the field. Soufal just hanging furthest back. Cresswell, fizzing delivery, and it was Dawson who met it 7 yards out. Didn't make clean contact with a header. Almost goes out for a throw on the opposite right-hand side. Bowen keeps it in play and swings it back into the penalty area, cleared away by Basuma. Well, if the first corner kick left a bit to be desired, David Conley, that was absolutely sensational from Cresswell.
Yeah, great pace on the ball. I mean, I guess Dawson might be a little bit disappointed, actually. The contact wasn't a bit cleaner. Just came off the side of his head.
He scored 4 goals this season, Craig Dawson, all in the calendar year. I think he will be disappointed when he watches that one back on television tonight that he didn't manage to at least test Robert Sanchez. First big chance of the game goes the way of West Ham. Here is Basuma on that yellow card, coming forward into West Ham territory. Gross rolls it back to White. It's been a really open and entertaining first 20 minutes here on Game Day on TalkSport 2. Despite the 0-0 scoreline, as we welcome listeners from TalkSport. Brighton 0, West Ham 0. Best chance of the game so far, a corner from Cresswell a few moments ago. Drilled into the penalty area, Dawson up from the back, couldn't meet it cleanly, and the opportunity went begging. Here come Brighton, Dan Burn stretching those telescopic legs over the halfway line, makes his way all the way to the opposite penalty area, cuts the cross back, looking for Trossard, and it was good defending by Souček. Lifts the ball behind David Conley for a corner. Yeah, it's the first time we've really seen Dan Burn bomb on, and I guess he's endeared himself to the Brighton fans here because that's sort of his stock, really. Gets the ball at the back and then floods forward, and we see Pascal Gross. I think on both wings Brighton have looked really bright when they've attacked. It's just in the box, they've really lacked numbers, but they've got another corner here. Yeah, 2-2 now on the corner count. No Lewis Dunk to attack them for Brighton. The home captain suspended after being sent off against Wolverhampton Wanderers in their last game. Pascal Gross is taking eternity to fetch the ball from behind the goal and dribble it all the way to that left corner flag, which is fluttering in the wind. In the absence of Dunk, the likes of Webster, White and the aforementioned Burn have come forward. Basuma and Trossard just hanging on the edge of the penalty area, and it will be a right-footed delivery towards the far post, but skips away from everybody in blue, tamely behind for a goal kick, and it remains Brighton 0, West Ham 0. Your thoughts on that, David Conley?
Well, not the best corner, and you mentioned it in terms of, obviously they don't have Dunk, as we saw. Rose got up really well against Wolves, didn't he? A great header, and normally the delivery is very reliable, but 2 corners now, Brighton haven't made the most of them. And certainly without him, they're not quite the same threat.
Just watching a replay of the West Ham chance at the other end. I think Dan Burn, actually, just by jumping with Dawson, he's a huge specimen, Dan Burn, just did enough, didn't he, to get in the eye line of Dawson and stop him really attacking the header. Here is Welbeck dropping deep to the halfway line to try and get involved in the play. The former England striker. We've reached the midway point of the first half, still goalless here on game day on TalkSport 2. Don't forget, tomorrow we've got Palace against Villa from the Premier League, live and exclusive on TalkSport 2, a midday kick-off, and then at 8 o'clock the Women's Champions League final. Chelsea bidding to become only the second English club to win that trophy. Sam Matterface and the legendary Farrah Williams amongst your commentary team for that one.
Well, just looking at how Brighton play, and you mentioned Danny Welbeck there, hasn't really been in the game, you know, because at times at the back they go from back to middle and then to the front, and it'd be really nice if Brighton just mixed it up and went from actually back to front, get it into the front men a little bit sooner. I mean, at times it's methodical and it's great, but also it just allows teams to get back in position and back in shape, and that's exactly what West Ham have done now. They've got all 11 more or less behind the ball, and that's because I don't think they risk the ball going from back to front quite enough, Brighton.
White into the feet of Welbeck, little layoff from him, Johanbach with a shot, blocked by Rice on the edge of the penalty area. Applause from Graham Potter down below us, appreciating the industry there and the skill of Danny Welbeck to tee up the chance. Was a good hit from Johanbach, would have tested the goalkeeper, but Declan Rice has so often in his West Ham career put his body on the line and made the block. Here is Gross now, 2 yards in from the right touchline, tries to roll the ball into Johanbach, took a deflection. Johanbach leaps and nods it into the feet of Alzate. Basuma well forward. Here's Alzate again, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Johanbach into Welbeck, who's dragged Ogbonna out of position just on the right corner of the 18-yard box. Johanbach with a cross too close to Fabianski, who collapses on top of the ball and takes it cleanly.
Yeah, poor crossing in the end. And as I mentioned, I think that's the next evolution of this side. Just trying to break and bypass players. If they can do that, Brighton, rather than looking, you know, to go into the midfield and always back at times, you know, just get it. Can they get it into the front? Can someone break a line at the back? Adam Webster, wrist possession, Ben White, you know, bypass the midfield. Because once other teams know you're always going into the midfield, then they latch on and go man for man. Right, we're going to lock on. We know it's coming in there, and at times just break it, go straight into the front. Then your midfield can turn around and join in. I think it'd be a nice evolution of how Potter plays.
Graham Potter, who turns 46 on Thursday. You heard in the build-up him sitting down with TalkSport's very own Jamie O'Hara, discussing some of his football principles that he developed over in Scandinavia. Did a really good job at Östersunds, took them to the later stages of the Europa League, then at Swansea, before attracting the attentions of the directors and the owner Tony Bloom here at the Amex. Cresswell's cross into the penalty area. Antonio tries to attack at the near post. I think he got something on the ball, could only hook it behind for a goal kick. Dangerous delivery again from Cresswell. A clever run from Mikel Antonio, just darted across his marker to the near post, but couldn't from an acute angle guide it inside the post. Yeah, it's another quality ball in from Cresswell. I mean, he timed his run really well, Antonio. He just got a little nick in it, but not enough. He needed a bit more purchase to steer it towards goal. Only Paolo Di Canio and Mark Noble have scored more Premier League goals for West Ham than Antonio. In fact, if he was to net tonight, he would go level with Noble on 46 goals in the competition. Just half a chance there. And they have had one or two sighters in these first 26 minutes, West Ham.
That is the ball. That is the ball I'm talking about. Bowen got it almost at the back. He bypassed the whole midfield straight into Antonio.
Cresswell rolls it into the penalty area, looking for Bowen. Across comes Dan Burn and uncompromising smashes it clear to the halfway line. It's collected by Ogbonna. Fornals rolls it into the centre circle, and Dawson. Brighton coming under pressure here. Pen back inside their own half, and here now is Ogbonna. Cresswell 2 yards inside his own half of the field away to our right. David Moyes barking instructions. He knows how big a game this is for West Ham. They play West Bromwich Albion away and Southampton at home in their final 2 games of the season. 10,000 supporters inside London Stadium. They have to win all 3 to stand any chance of the top 4. Here's Lingard, just outside the penalty area. Lingard goes down under a challenge. There's a tangle of legs right in front of Andre Mariner. No real appeals for a penalty. Brighton initially caught playing out from the back. Lingard almost taking full advantage. I think he was just crowded out of it in the end. Doesn't, in fairness, appeal for the penalty, but he's only now getting back to his feet, Jesse Lingard. He's taken 1 or 2 heavy challenges in the opening 28 minutes here at the Amex. Yeah,
just start with a poor header there from Ben White, just trying to clear it straight into the feet of Jesse Lingard, who then drove on the inside. There was a nice little pocket of space from the left-hand side to the right-hand side of the box, and I think a touch just got away from him, just bobbled. There was a little bit of a coming together, but I think it was a foul. And he has gone to the ground a few times. It's almost like the boy who cried wolf now, and his teammates are thinking, right, did we put the ball out of play? Are you all right, or are we carrying on?
Did make me laugh, actually, last weekend when Dean Smith was complaining about Aston Villa on the wrong end of 1 or 2 decisions, players going down too easily. This is the manager of Jack Grealish, by the way. Here's Byrne down the left-hand side, plays it back towards the penalty area, and Webster.
Do you think Grealish goes down too easy?
I think there's a reason why Aston Villa are officially the most fouled team in the Premier League.
That's because he's so good at carrying the ball. I think we'll just take him out.
Jack Grealish will be in action. Live on TalkSport 2, midday tomorrow. They take on Crystal Palace in what surely is one of Roy Hodgson's final games in charge at Selhurst Park. There have been talks in the build-up to that game, and indeed against Arsenal as well, that maybe Crystal Palace might make a formal announcement so that Roy Hodgson is afforded the opportunity to say goodbye to the Palace fans in midweek. That will be a game live on TalkSport 2, by the way. Meanwhile, here it's still Brighton 0, West Ham 0. Antonio using that strength to bulldoze his way beyond Trossard, and he's left Trossard on a heap. He made up plenty of ground there, Antonio, all on his own. In the end, Ben White has to come across and plays it back to Sanchez, the goalkeeper. It's clearly under instruction, Sanchez, isn't he, to play the ball short, David Connolly, every time he gets it, but it is inviting a bit of pressure in these opening half an hour here. Gross goes long, looking for Welbeck, who had already checked his run, and he's picked up by Fabianski just outside the penalty area.
Yeah, and that's why I mentioned about Bowen. You know, when you have someone who's a forward-thinking player who drops into that back line and then they break a line with that pass like he did into Antonio, I think that's what they need to do a bit more. And I think Brighton as well, you know, at times just risk possession, and I know they like giving it to Sanchez and building short, and Webster's probably the one who has got that vision, but yeah, when you suck a lot, look at West Ham now, they've probably got 8 players 20 yards outside the box. Now, can you bypass all that pressure and get it into the front? That's the challenge for them. Have they got someone in that back line? Because teams then, you know, who don't have someone, they drop a midfielder there and go on then, you've got that ability, you break, and can you get us forward? And I'm just looking at Brighton going, go on then, Webbo, go on, can you break a line like that? That's not bad. Just a poor touch there from the handbacks.
Did you play with Webster at Portsmouth?
Yes, yeah.
Did you see him as someone who would go on and have a career in the Premier League?
Well, he was a great lad, and he had bundles of enthusiasm and ability, and you just hope that he would. I'm so pleased that he has. Great, you know, come through, and a lot of the Pompey staff take credit for that, you know, in the academy, brilliant academy, and fair play to him. He's gone on to be a superb signing for them.
Yeah, he does a fair amount of community work as well, Adam Webster, for Brighton. In fact, I attended a Zoom coaching session that he did free of charge for around about 200 young football players who obviously couldn't go out and play in the open space during the pandemic. And Brighton really leading the charge in so many ways on that front over the course of the last year or so. Here's Jesse Lingard making his way towards the Albion penalty area, played out to the left-hand side and Fornals. Can they get across into the box here? Bowen sees the door quickly shut by Webster, and the last touch actually was off Webster, and it will be a Brighton ball, 0-0 with 31 minutes played here on TalkSport 2.
Well, both teams just turned the ball over with their number 9s, so the ball went into West Ham's night, you know, this striker Antonio, one touch left, gives it straight back to Brighton. That actually then in turn goes to Danny Welbeck. He's got it, one touch layoff, he loses possession, and that's where, you know, when you do go into the front, you've got to make sure you secure it.
You are listening to Brighton against West Ham on TalkSport 2 with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Don't part exchange, get money off your next car. Go to WeBuyAnyCar.com.
It's funny I said number 9s, because obviously no number 9 at any Premier League team probably wears number 9, do they? So, centre forward.
There aren't too many number 9s around, are there? That's why Harry Kane and Haaland are so talked about. Here is Trossard, trying to make something happen for Brighton on the edge of the penalty area. It was neither a cross or a shot, squirming through a crowded box and collected by Fabianski, playing his 100th game for West Ham tonight. Lucas Fabianski, 36 years young. I think we saw last season when he was injured, David Connolly, just how important he is to the Hammers.
Yeah, absolutely. He had that sort of anomaly, I think, against Newcastle, just spilled that ball in the box, that cross. But apart from that, he's been outstanding.
Antonio does really well to keep the ball in play there after the pass was overhit by Fornals right in front of us on the left touch line. Here is Thomas Soucek coming forward for West Ham. Rice just dropping off, rolling the ball forward to Lingard. Lingard might go direct here, looking for Antonio. The goalkeeper hesitated. Antonio nods it over Sanchez, but nods it crucially for West Ham away from goal. But that was a moment of indecision from Robert Sanchez that could have been costly.
Well, it's a brilliant cross in here from Lingard. Just spots Antonio, just pulls off the back of Ben White. Might have been offside, ever so slightly, but I just wonder why Antonio didn't go for goal there. Just head it back, loop it into that far corner. I think he's just trying to be unselfish there, and really, with his ability, we've spoken about his headed goals.
He might be pondering that himself, Mikel Antonio. Here's Bowen over on the right-hand side, looking to link up with Soufal. Relatively quiet evening so far for Vladimir Soufal. With 12 minutes of a so far goalless first half remaining. Steven Alzate with room to run into for Brighton. Over the halfway line he comes. Forward to Jahanbakhsh. Gets it back, Alzate, from Jahanbakhsh. Those two just linking up in the centre of the West Ham half. And Jahanbakhsh thought about playing the ball into the penalty area. Only Danny Welbeck to aim at. Need to get more support, really, Brighton, in and around the lone striker. Up against a pretty formidable West Ham back line. Dawson and Ogbonna don't give centre forwards too much change. There's Dan Burn now coming forward down the Brighton left. In front of a big blue banner, we stand or fall together. It's one of the Brighton mottos. Here's Jahanbakhsh trying to play it forward. Intercepted by Cresswell, and West Ham could get men forward here on the counter. Antonio maybe took the wrong option there, ran into a bit of a cul-de-sac in the form of Yves Bissouma. Still manages to keep possession, but just some of the momentum has been lost for West Ham. Lingard, 20 yards inside Brighton territory, over on the right as we look. We're going to go back now into their own half with Ogbonna.
I think Jahanbakhsh a couple of times now has just turned that ball over. When you need that bit of quality, that bit of guile, when it gets tight in around the box, and twice now he's lost possession. Got to be better.
Soufal trying to find Bowen down the right. Modder scored for Poland against England earlier this season, clears it away for Brighton. He's another youngster of whom they expect big things in the future. Basuma's gone down. It will be a free kick inside the Brighton half. David Connolly was talking there about Alireza Jahanbakhsh. He was one of a number of overseas signings that Brighton brought in when they were first promoted. It didn't really work out. Jose Izquierdo, the Colombians, had wretched luck with injury. They've still got Jurgen Locadia, a striker recruited from the Bundesliga, out on loan. Jahanbakhsh scored goals for fun in the Eredivisie over in Holland, David, but he just hasn't been able to translate that in the Premier League, barring one spectacular goal against Chelsea here, you may remember.
Yeah, and there's been a few, I guess, hits and a few misses for them in terms of their recruitment, and it's a difficult one to get right, because it's not obviously not just maybe the league that you're playing in, it's that adaptation when you come over, whether it's the family situation, who comes over, is he married, is he not, has he got kids, is he on his own, will mum and dad come, etc., all this sort of stuff to integrate a player, and for some it's harder than others, often clubs are not just signing the one player, might be bringing the whole family, and how they settle down. But look, for Jahanbakhsh, it hasn't worked out.
And I think in particular it's really important that the sentiments that you make there during a pandemic, because often players have come over from abroad during this pandemic, maybe didn't bring their families with them, maybe plan to bring them over in the future, haven't been able to do that, haven't been able to get back and see loved ones. I know Nuno Espirito Santo, for example, at Wolves has really struggled with that this season, the mental side of it, because
absolutely.
He used to go back to Portugal pretty much every 2 weeks.
Yeah, And I remember when I was at Wigan, Jason Roberts, invited Pascal Chimbombe, who had no family, to his for dinner.
All he did that at the moment.
Well, all he did was sat in his favourite chair, eat his dinner and fall asleep. It was all right. I'm not inviting him next year. And I think a couple of weeks later, Pascal handed in a transfer request at Highbury. So, he was definitely not on the Christmas card list after that.
I love that. I've got visions now of a Christmas Day in the Jason Roberts house. Here's Fabianski clearing it forward for West Ham. Still 0-0 here on Game Day on TalkSport 2. We have a little over 8 minutes of the first half remaining. West Ham have had the better opportunities, but neither goalkeeper has been seriously tested as Bowen goes down under a challenge from Dan Burn. Well, David Moyes is convinced it was a free kick, but I think in fairness, Andre Mariner is just trying to let the game flow. West Ham still in possession. Declan Rice with the orange undersoles of his boots shining brightly under the floodlights here. Plays it out to Souček on the right-hand side. Souček has Soufal, his fellow countryman, up in support. Brighton have got everybody bar Welbeck back behind the ball, and even Welbeck now dropping deep as well. They're trying to frustrate West Ham, trying to make it difficult for the likes of Jesse Lingard to weave his magic. I think they've done a pretty good job of that so far.
And I think in Pascal's defence, I don't know what else you're meant to do on Christmas Day apart from eat, sleep, watch TV and go home. That's about sounds like most people's perfect Christmas.
Only so many games of Trivial Pursuit you can play.
Yeah.
Well, Bonnet almost coming together there with Antonio. Antonio takes the ball. Oh, and he was looking to play it forward. Lovely turn by Fornals, and Fornals denied inside the penalty area. It was a brilliant tackle, I think by Gross of all people. The pass wasn't intended for Pablo Fornals, but he took the responsibility, and the way that he turned away from Webster was absolutely sumptuous, and Webster grateful that Gross was there to make the challenge and clear the danger.
Well, this was almost, you remember that goal Bergkamp scored against Newcastle? It was, not too dissimilar. I think it was up against Nikos Davizas, I think, where he sort of flicked the ball one way. Now, it's not quite the same, but similar sort of scenario there. Fornals flicked it around Webster. He didn't quite have the pace, though, did he, to get away? And we've seen that when the ball is turned over for West Ham. And if it had maybe an extra yard or two, I don't think Webster would be able to catch him.
We've got 6 minutes the first half remaining. Still Brighton 0, West Ham 0. Antonio up against Webster. Some really interesting individual battles being played out in front of us as Sanchez scoops it out to Gross on this right-hand side.
It's a great kick, that, was it, from Sanchez, out of his feet, almost on his goal line. Just pinged the ball over the shoulder of Fornals, straight onto the chest of Gross. Absolutely pin perfect.
Haven't seen that too often from him. It's gone short more often than not. I've got a statement to read out from Daniel Ek, the Spotify founder who wants to buy Arsenal. I'll come to that in a moment. Here is Webster, midway inside the Brighton half of the field. He plays it to this near right-hand side, and White forced back by Jesse Lingard. So does the sensible thing, plays it back to Sanchez in goal, and Brighton will build again with Webster. Here is Basuma, just on the edge of the centre circle, taps it forward for Alzate. Alzate with Gross ahead of him, but Jahanbakhsh drops short. Basuma, having picked up that early yellow card, has not really made a tackle since then, but played a good ball to Gross on the right-hand side. That cross is going to be far too close to Fabianski. Just dug it out there, much like a golfer stuck in a bunker. Plenty of loft, but no real power, David Conley.
Yeah, it's a brilliant ball though in behind from Basuma. Spotted the run in between the centre half and the full back, and as you said, not the best ball in though from Gross.
Here's Antonio at the other end, attacking on the left corner of the penalty area. Gets it back from Fornals, Antonio. West Ham looking for the breakthrough before half-time in a game that they will see as must-win for their European aspirations. Here's Declan Rice, forward to Fornals. 0-0 the score. And it's Souček now, who finds Lingard with room to turn on the edge of the box, and he's spotted Cresswell's run back to Fornals. Fornals shot, good block, Basuma. He was trying to guide that into the corner, the cross back in towards Antonio, headed clear by Webster. Lingard shot, did it strike an arm? Well, he's screaming in the face of Andre Mariner. If it did strike Webster on the arm, it was far from intentional.
Best opportunity created there from West Ham. Lovely little ball, another one in behind. Lingard into Cresswell. Cute little cutback cross, but shot was blocked by Brighton.
Yeah, I think it was Basuma putting his body on the line, but Jesse Lingard there, just showing that flash of quality, to have a mindset to time the pass and just roll it into Cresswell.
Well, it's the first time we've really seen Lingard in that sort of number 10 pocket, in a tight, congested sort of 10 by 10 little pocket of space, a little square, and he receives the ball, got turned, then he can face forward and pick someone out. That's where he's a real threat. At times in this game so far, he's been really deep, hasn't he? Often just dropping behind the ball, but can he get in that position just off the front? Look, you haven't got a lot of room to operate in, and that's why those players are so coveted, but he can do it, that's for sure.
Teams are bound to make allowances for him, though, aren't they? Given those numbers that I read out, 12 goal contributions in 13 games, it would be foolhardy if you were Graham Potter not to almost man-mark him and try and stop him getting those pockets of space that he's exploited to such good effect over the course of his West Ham career.
But I think those spaces are getting smaller and smaller. Obviously, everyone, has seen the damage that he can do. Not just obviously coming short in those pockets, but running in behind and everything else.
Gross has had his pocket picked by Fornals. Lingard twists and turns away from Byrne, and he skips past Basuma and knew he couldn't dive in, having picked up that early yellow card. Soufal with a low cross, scooped clear by Dan Byrne. Brighton coming under pressure late in the first half here on TalkSport 2. Declan Rice with a delivery, flicks off the head of Byrne, and then that looked like a high foot from your hand back on Cresswell. Certainly that's what Cresswell is claiming. Referee Andre Marinette says no, and it's cleared to the halfway line and collected by Dawson. Here's Lingard for West Ham. Back into Lingard from Fornals, midway inside Brighton territory. Lingard first time rolls it out to Soufal. He's just starting to orchestrate things here, Jesse Lingard. Fornals into Souček. Bowen inside the penalty area, and the shot turned goalwards. Again they're screaming for handball. It was Fornals with the effort. Jesse Lingard absolutely convinced that struck an arm before being clawed away by Sanchez, the goalkeeper. Here's Rice for West Ham. Brighton having to weather a bit of a storm at the end of the first half. Lingard again glides away from Alzate into the feet of Fornals. Fornals with a 1-2 with Antonio, almost showed too much of it to Ben White. Souček with a shot, beaten away by the goalkeeper, could have gone anywhere. Fornals leaps but can't get on the end of it, and Ben White will run it clear, much to the relief of Graham Potter down in front of us.
Yeah, good foot in though from Declan Rice. I mean, it's a really good strike here from Souček. It actually starts with Ben White, who's not really strong enough in the challenge, but I think this is in defenders' heads that they can't be too strong because they might give away a free kick, so he goes in sort of half-hearted and then doesn't come out with the ball, falls to Souček, really good strike, 20 yards out, beaten away by Sanchez, and it just bounced over the head of Fornals.
Let's get to this statement from Daniel Ek. Obviously a lot of speculation about his interest in Arsenal, much of it self-generated, it has to be said. He says on Twitter, I think it's important to correct the record. This week an offer was made to both Josh Kroenke and Arsenal's bankers that included an ownership representation at the board and a golden share for supporters. That will go down well with Arsenal fans. They replied, these are the owners, they don't need the money, I respect their decision but remain interested and available should that situation ever change. That's the very latest on his takeover attempts of Arsenal. Here come Brighton in the final few seconds of the first half, live on Game Day on TalkSport 2. 0-0 the score. Brighton attacking the goal away to our right, and it's Alzate with a shot, charged down on the edge of the penalty area. Might come for your handbacks, took an ace to get it out from under his studs. We're into one added minute. Brighton still on the attack here with Trossard, who's had a quiet evening. Here's your handbacks just on the D on the edge of the penalty area, plays it out to the right, and Pascal Gross twisting neatly away from Fornals, drills in the cross, which is cleared just on the edge of the penalty area by Cresswell. And we've already played 20 seconds of the one added minute. Here's Basuma, 25 yards from goal, into Welbeck, forced away from the penalty area by Bonner, and then it's cleared by West Ham into the centre circle. A foul by Modder on Soufal. It's a free kick for West Ham, and with only 20 seconds of added time remaining, that might just be it, David Connolly.
Yeah, but I think he is going to let this free kick be taken. Again, it's not the best ball in, is it, from Pascal Gross? Doesn't beat the first man, and I think both sides have really struggled with their delivery. There's only that one deeper one from Lingard that Antonio got a piece of. That's been about it. I think the crosses in the box have not been the best. There's that little look at that handball from Ben White, which, I mean, the ball skipped off the turf, it hit him from a couple of yards away, maybe a yard away. I don't think there was too much in that.
Well, there goes the half-time whistle. David Moyes quickly heads back to the dressing room area. West Ham needing a victory tonight to maintain the pressure on the top four and cement themselves in the Europa League places. They have looked the more likely. Mikel Antonio wayward with a couple of attempts from crosses. Craig Dawson should have done better from a corner as well, but Robert Sanchez relatively untroubled in the Brighton goal. No surprise that it's stalemate. Brighton have drawn more games in the Premier League than any other team this season. They are 45 minutes away from adding another to that tally, but they will be the happier of the two sides if it stays this way. Half-time at the Amex. It's Brighton 0, West Ham United 0. He is indeed, Dan. Brighton 0, West Ham 0. Did you get any insight there from inside the Brighton dressing room from Adam Lallana?
Yeah, I mean, look, he was glowing in terms of Graham Potter. Absolutely glowing. Obviously, look, he's worked with Poch, he's worked with Klopp, he's worked with a lot of top people, you know, and England, etc. And no, he thinks Potter's class. You know, he thinks he's up there with, you know, the philosophies of those top coaches. Make no mistake.
Well, the headline writers have had a field day, haven't they, with the name Potter since he came in at Brighton, but it's West Ham who need some magic in this second half if they are to maintain their European push. Live on TalkSport 2. We are back off and underway under moody skies overhead here at the Amex. It's still Brighton 0, West Ham 0. West Ham all in black, attacking the goal away to our right, and Mikel Antonio has made his way to the edge of the penalty area, and he's flashed the left-footed shot high over the crossbar and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, just created something out of nothing there, Mikel. He just looks to the sky, he knows he could do a little bit better. Again, gets into that sort of space where he can just run with the ball, and he is so powerful on the half turn. Once he gets away, it's hard to get back at him. It's on his left foot. It's always a hard one, running away from goal on the diagonal. Couldn't keep it down.
It's like a family reunion for you tonight. You played with Antonio, didn't you, at Southampton? Will he be coming up for a word?
Well, maybe. Yeah, he might. But that was quite nice of Adam. That's the quickest I've seen him sprinting a while with those steps.
And he didn't get injured. That's the good news.
Oh, you're cruel.
Here's Bowen inside the penalty area for West Ham. Gets the byline, cuts it back, and it's steered away. Virtually on his knees by Adam Webster inside the 6-yard box. A really dangerous run and cross by Bowen. Brilliant defending, not for the first time tonight by Adam Webster.
Yeah, he gets into a nice little pocket here, Bowen. I just wonder, maybe he could have tried to get this onto his left foot to get it shot off. Instead, he kept sort of running straight onto his right foot, which meant he could only really cross the ball. I think it might be better just shifting it onto his left and just trying to get a shot off.
Good start to the second half from West Ham. Haven't even had time yet to run you through the two lineups, unchanged from the opening 45 minutes as Jarrod Bowen is forced to go all the way back to Fabianski, the goalkeeper. So it's Sanchez in goal for Brighton, White, Webster and Byrne. Gross as one wing back, Modder as the other, Jahanbakhsh, Alzate and Basuma in midfield, and then Trossard supporting Danny Welbeck up front for West Ham. Fabianski in goal, Soufal, Dawson, Ogbonna and Cresswell, then Souček and Rice in front of him, Fornals, Lingard and Bowen behind Mikel Antonio up front. What will David Moyes have said at half-time, David Conley?
Well, I think he would have said, look, we were dangerous when we had the ball, you know, when we got it into the front, created good chances. I think he'll be pretty pleased, to be honest, with how it went that first 45. A little bit more care on the ball in certain places, maybe Antonio getting hold of it, and he started well in the second half in terms of taking care of the ball, and also just getting into Lingard a little bit more often, because he's looked electric when he's had it.
Both managers will of course be already contemplating what changes they could make in this second half to turn 1 point into 3 as Sanchez scoops the ball out to the left hand side as we look. Dan Byrne drops the shoulder, leaves Bowen in a heap.
As you drop your notes again.
Tell you what, the wind is starting to swirl in this second half, and the team sheet has just blown away. I was just getting it out actually to go through the two benches for Brighton. I've got it back now, courtesy of our producer Carl. Steele is the backup goalkeeper, Karbovnik, Aaron Connolly, McAllister, Lallana, who we've mentioned, and Done back on the bench. Long time since he played for the first team. Tau, Caicedo and Zakiri. West Ham have Randolph as their backup keeper, Balbuena, Yarmolenko, Benrahma, Noble, Diop, Fredericks, Ben Johnson, who scored against Brighton at London Stadium, and Odebeko. As Danny Welbeck tries to force Ogbonna into a mistake, he did well, Ogbonna, just to hoist the ball to his fellow centre-back Dawson, and then it's cleared long upfield, and Webster there ahead of Lingard to cushion it back to Sanchez, all in orange the Brighton goalkeeper away to our right, and one or two of the local media guys, David Connolly, was saying that they're a bit concerned that Robert Sanchez could be on the radar of some of the bigger clubs. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, he's super skillful with the ball at his feet. Here's Jahanbakhsh. He's beaten the offside trap, and he's got players in the centre to aim at, and he steered it against the legs of Fabianski. I think he was trying to cut it back for Danny Welbeck. Fabianski did well, but David Moyes will be really alarmed by just how easy Brighton, with a slide rule pass, found it to get in behind their defence. Well, we saw this against Everton, you know, with that little bit of basic movement. Calvert-Lewin got in behind. It's pretty similar here. I think he would have been offside had VAR taken a look at it. Yeah, maybe Supal was slightly too deep there. There's that fullback. He should be a little bit higher up, looking along the line. As in the end, I tell you what, it's fantastic. Little bit of footwork here from Fabianski, just to get down and get his foot on that. You have to go back to January 2020 for the last time Jahanbakhsh scored for Brighton. That was a spectacular strike against Chelsea. I think it was on New Year's Day, in actual fact. Happy New Year for him as the ball is hoisted into the Brighton penalty area. Souček, who made a dart from midfield, leaps well but can only nod the ball well wide of goal for a goal kick for the Seagulls. Still 0-0 here on TalkSport 2 on the day that Leicester City beat Chelsea 1-0 to win the FA Cup at Wembley. Yeah, that's a great interview, wasn't it, Brendan Rodgers? They just played there at half-time, but just going back to West Ham, every time it gets out wide to Creswell, they've got to try and close him down, Brighton, because he's got that ability on the ball, and with Souček obviously making those runs in the box, you know, that cross is coming in with quality. West Ham have won 17 Premier League games this season. That's already a club record in the competition. How timely win number 18 would be, particularly with none of the 5 teams ahead of them in action today. Tottenham don't play until tomorrow. They'll take on Wolves at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But here's Modder in space down the left-hand side for Brighton. Again, the West Ham defence a bit static. Belatedly, Soufal does come across and blocks the cross. Modder towards Welbeck at the far post. Headed clear this time by Ogbonna. They've just switched off a couple of times early in this second half, West Ham. Here they come on the counter. Fornals trying to spray it forward for Lingard. Basuma steps in and clears it to the halfway line, where it's collected by Soufal once more. 0-0 on the south coast. Well, it was unlucky there from Fornals. It was a nice little nutmegs, and then he just needs to find the likes of Jesse Lingard, a bit of quality. It's a poor pass into the front. Here is Soufal, plays it down the line to Fornals, trying to turn away from Gross. They've got plenty of bodies around the ball whenever West Ham attack, but Bowen's done well to manage to recycle it to Souček. And here's Declan Rice now, very much the heartbeat of the West Ham midfield. Missed the last 6 matches before tonight. No coincidence, I'm sure, that they've lost 3 of the last 4 without their captain patrolling midfield. Here's Lingard, allowed to turn away from Alzate, pokes it towards Rice, but it's intercepted by Trossard. Very quiet evening for Leandro Trossard, the Belgian. But he's found Alzate there with a decent pass forward, and Alzate now inside the centre circle, tries to play it out to the right, slip by Fornals. Gross can come forward towards the penalty area, feeds it forward to Jahanbakhsh. Jahanbakhsh looking to wriggle away from Souček, crosses to the edge of the box, brought down by Trossard. Maybe could have tried an ambitious volley there, Trossard. He's played it into Alzate, does shoot, eventually blocked by Ogbonna. Still alive inside the penalty area. Jahanbakhsh across the face of goal and punched away at the near post by Fabianski. Here's Basuma now for Brighton. Gets it back on the edge of the penalty area. Trossard trying to make some space. Alzate shoots, blocked by Rice this time. Very good spell though for Brighton early in this second half. They've got defending to do here. Antonio has set Lingard away down the left. Lingard sprints towards the penalty area. That's the check back due to the attentions of Ben White. Still finds Soufal. Soufal brings it down a yard outside the box, crosses towards Antonio, headed away by Ben White, and then it will be ran clear in the end by Basuma. It was a really good recovery run there, wasn't it, from Ben White, just to get back on Lingard. Snuffed out that danger. End-to-end stuff early in the second half. Here come Brighton now, attacking the goal away to our left with Jahanbakhsh. Now Byrne in his blue footwear plays it out to this near touchline, and Modder, the youngster. Every outfield player bar Webster inside the West Ham half. Trossard 10 yards from goal. Needs a bit of support. Plays it short in the end to Jahanbakhsh.
He's just got a lot of players when he's in possession behind the ball for Brighton. There's not really enough options ahead of the ball. And here they go back to their sort of start positions all the way back to Sanchez, and then they rework their patterns. But at times I think the ball holder just needs a couple more options ahead of him.
Well, we've mentioned the lack of goals as Webster goes on a darting run forward, stopped in his tracks by Ogbonna, and as a result of that, Brighton a man light defensively. Lingard again goes up through the gears, makes his way into the Brighton half away to our right, goes over on that left hand side. Webster is now back inside the penalty area as the cross is drilled into the box, and Dan Burn was not the most convincing header clear. In the end it's volleyed away by Modder on the left hand side, and Danny Welbeck up against Dawson manages to keep possession and find Burn. Burn trying to release Jahanbakhsh down the right. Cresswell didn't get there ahead of Jahanbakhsh. The goalkeeper comes out. Jahanbakhsh tries to guide it into the corner, and it's inches wide of the far post. Well, he sprinted clear of Cresswell, who misread the flight of the ball, waited for Fabianski to come out, lifted it over the goalkeeper, and not too far wide. Jahanbakhsh so close there to ending his long wait in between Brighton goals.
Oh, it's so close, a really acute angle. He does really well to get here ahead of Fabianski, and he just lifts it over him, destined for that far post, but as it lands at the part, it just bounces past it, just brushes past it. So unlucky.
Brighton 0, West Ham 0, 56 minutes played. But Brighton creating opportunities in this second half on a night when West Ham really need to win for their European hopes. They certainly know they're in a game now, but they've carved Brighton open. Lingard to the edge of the penalty area. Soucek delayed the shot, plays it out to the right to Soufal. Low ball into the box, blocked by Basuma. Again there, David Conley. I just wonder if they could have got the shot away earlier, tested the goalkeeper.
Well, we saw Soufal hit the post, didn't he, last week, so... But I think it wasn't on there. I think it was on to cross the ball, but just can you pick someone out a bit of quality? I mean, look, we all know the assists that both fullbacks have made for West Ham have been brilliant. They're up there, aren't they, in terms of the best in the league? But maybe, just maybe, can they just find someone a little bit more?
In comes the cross from Lingard deep to the far post. Bowen was sliding in, stretching every sinew to try and get on the end of it. He couldn't, and it's behind for a goal kick. And Yves Basuma, worryingly for Brighton, David Conley, is down his haunches inside the D on the edge of their own penalty area.
Yeah, not a bad ball in from Lingard, just drifted out to that left hand side. It's an in-swinging delivery this time, but again it's ahead of Bowen. I think too many balls from both teams have actually just been too far in front of those players trying to get on the end of them. And I know Potter's, look, he's in conversation here, so he's obviously thinking about a change, because
well, Basuma's not moving particularly freely, so that might be the topic of conversation as we welcome once again listeners from Talk Sport here at the Amex Stadium. Brighton 0, West Ham 0, but Brighton have started the second half well as Jahanbakhsh crosses into the penalty area looking for Welbeck. Well read by Dawson, and Rice clears now up to Lingard inside the centre circle. Antonio claims he was tripped to the floor by Webster. Referee Andre Mariner had a good view and disagreed, and Basuma, who is now back up and running, having looked to have picked up a knock, finds Welbeck just on the corner of the penalty area away to our left. Here is Welbeck, gets to the byline, looks up, sees a lack of options in the centre, so plays it short to Modder. His cross cannons off the heels of Soufal. Jahanbakhsh tries to keep it alive, and he wins a corner, David Conley.
Yeah, they've threatened well, haven't they, down both sides of the box in the last few minutes. Good attacks, and Jahanbakhsh suddenly's come to life. I think maybe he realises if he doesn't have some in product soon, his number's probably up. But as it is, he's had a couple of good raids down the wings, and he's really unlucky with that strike at goal where he just lifted it past Fabianski.
He sprinted away from Cresswell. Jahanbakhsh waited for the goalkeeper to commit, tried to just guide the ball into the corner. It was inches away from nestling in the back of the net. Here comes the Brighton corner. Pascal Gross puts both arms up in the air. Webster and Burn waiting to make a late run, having come up for the back. He plays it short to the edge of the area. Trossard's cross flicks off Bowen. Bit of a waste of a set-piece situation. It's cleared to the halfway line, and it remains with 59 minutes play. Brighton 0, West Ham 0. Got to do better, David Conley, from corners and free kicks.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that it's funny, if Basuma is struggling with injury, why leave him back as the last man, corners for, I mean, that's a bit of a risky decision. Maybe he's okay.
Here's Dan Burn coming in from the left-hand side. Very comfortable Dan Burn, despite the fact that he maybe looks a bit ungainly. With the ball at his feet, this is Trossard trying to slide it through for your handbacks. Declan Rice was alert to the danger, steps in and wins it back for West Ham, looking for their first ever top flight victory, either here at the Amex or at the old Goldston ground. At the moment it isn't forthcoming. We've played an hour and they're proving a tough nut to crack, Brighton. Here's Antonio trying to get in behind, plays it to the edge of the penalty area for Declan Rice, rolls it into Lingard, no room for a shot for him, has to go back, but he's still got it, Lingard, and tries to lift it over the goalkeeper and lifts it well wide.
Yeah, it's a poor effort by his standards anyway, Jesse. I think he was superb in that first 45. Every time he gets the ball he's looked so bright and lively, but this strike just outside the box. I think it's a poor set initially from Declan Rice. He gives it back to him again. He's got too many players in and around him, and as it is, ambitious from that sort of distance.
You're listening to Brighton against West Ham on TalkSport 2 with Now. Don't forget, with Now you can watch Brighton against West Ham live right now on Sky Sports for just £9.99. Search Now Sports.
Well, David Moyes is going ballistic on the sideline because he obviously wants to make a change, but
I think it's Ben Rama has been summoned back.
Well, they couldn't find him. They went down looking on where the subs were warming up, and there was Fredericks and one other, and Yarmolenko, and they were like, well, where's Ben Rama? Then they went and sent someone off in the dressing room. They couldn't find him there. And Moyes is going, well, where's he gone? Well, I don't know where he was. He was maybe, I don't know, who knows. He might have been going, I don't know.
The world's most unusual game of hide and seek taking place here at the Amex Stadium. 61 minutes played. You listen to Game Day on TalkSport 2. Already today, Burnley beaten 4-0 by Leeds. Chelsea went down 1-0 to Leicester in the FA Cup final. Both of those games live on TalkSport. And here at the Amex, it's Brighton 0, West Ham 0 in the other Premier League game in the 3 o'clock kickoff. Theo Walcott scoring his first home goal for Southampton in 15 years as they beat Fulham by 3 goals to 1. Fulham going down with a whimper. Here is Alzate out to the right hand side for Brighton, still looking for a breakthrough here. Ben Rama just getting his final instructions from Kevin Nolan, having been finally located. Who will he be coming on for, David Conley, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean...
Bowen?
Possibly. I mean, that would be the like for like. Obviously, look, against Burnley, I thought he was absolutely brilliant, Ben Rama, but then he was back to sort of being that inconsistent player that he has been so far at West Ham in the Everton game. So I want him to come on here and just, make sure he keeps the ball, makes good decisions, because at times his decision making has been a bit off. He had the best chance of the game as well against Everton. He didn't take it, but might be Bowen.
Here's Basuma, cushion pass into his feet by Welbeck on the edge of the area. Trossard into the stride of Alzate. Alzate forward to Welbeck, who is always running, always trying to stretch the West Ham defence, Danny Welbeck, but it's been another night for him where he's been starved of service, really. Yeah, handbacks with a little back heel into the area, though. Shot from Pascal Gross was blocked, the offside flag goes up. Wouldn't have counted. Free kick West Ham inside their own penalty area, and Fabianski has played it quick to Lingard. Controls it expertly on the chest, Jesse Lingard, and races away towards the penalty area once more, still full of running, into Antonio. Thought about playing it back to Lingard, turned away instead and sprays it out this right hand side in Soufal. Bowen, who might be about to be replaced, picks it up down by the right corner flag. And now Declan Rice midway inside the Brighton half into Jesse Lingard. Again, Brighton have got back in shape very quickly, stifling this West Ham attack.
Well, that's why they've conceded so few goals. They've got 10 players behind the ball, just Welbeck up.
And Declan Rice's cross is far too deep, and it's behind for a goal kick. And here comes the West Ham change. Saeed Benrahma is coming on, and it will be Jarrod Bowen, as we predicted, to make way. This is the change that David Moyes will be hoping can finally unlock the Brighton defence. Saeed Benrahma yet to score in the Premier League for West Ham. He's had more shots than any other player, David Conley, this season without finding the back of the net. Can that change this evening?
Well, I think certainly for West Ham fans, they're hoping that. I mean, he hasn't really delivered, let's be honest, since he's joined. I thought he was excellent against Burnley, as I said, but too many games, too often decision making has let him down, end product, etc.
Brighton looking for some end product here as Trossard plays it forward to Modder. Sensible defending from Dawson, using all of that experience that he's built up over the course of his career just to usher the ball, just to outmuscle Modder, and it trickles behind for a goal kick. Gareth Southgate is here tonight, incidentally, among the interested onlookers. No Lewis Dunk in the Brighton team. Might be having a closer look at Jesse Lingard maybe ahead of the European Championships. David Connolly?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Your mate's about to come on.
Yeah, which I thought maybe Lallana might come on a little bit earlier. I think Jahan Bak's had that little sparkle of 10-15 minutes in the start of this second half, but it might be for him, I imagine.
West Ham attack down their left-hand side. Antonio on the edge of the penalty area. Thunders the shot. Goal was blocked by Ben White. He's had another really good night tonight, Ben White.
Well, they've put their bodies on the line really well. And that's why they're saying they've conceded, one less than Man United, who are obviously second at this moment in time. So great defensive record. And they just get back really quickly. They just leave Welbeck up top on his own, don't they? And apart from that, you've got to be really quick when you're trying to break them down.
Well, they've conceded 24 goals from open play. That doesn't, of course, include penalties. Only Manchester City and Manchester United have conceded fewer from open play. That is some company to be keeping. It's at the other end, isn't it, where they have struggled often to kill teams off, and they have been a dominant force. I think it's been fairly even tonight. 0-0 is probably a fair reflection of the evening. Yeah,
it's just that you mentioned about Welbeck, stretching the defence. He hasn't got the pace to really stretch him in behind. He'll stretch them sort of laterally, but they don't really have that real speedster. I think they might need a bit more pace. You look at Antonio, obviously, for West Ham. He's got that. He can really stretch defences, but Welbeck can't really do that.
One man who can stretch defences is Adam Lallana, just waiting to come on a few feet below us. We're very close to the dugout areas, right behind the Brighton bench at the Amex Stadium, in the lower bowels of the main stand, underneath a corrugated iron roof, as the ball is chipped towards the West Ham penalty area. Ushered behind by Cresswell, showing no ill effects of that dead leg suffered in the last game. And now Adam Lallana, as West Ham prepare to take a goal kick, will be coming on for Steven Alzate, so a like-for-like change.
Yeah, and this is where they need that craft and guile. You mentioned about Leicester winning the FA Cup. I saw Adam play here against Leicester, and he was absolutely incredible.
We did that game together, I think.
Yeah, and Brendan Rodgers, I think that was what he was saying in his ears. They both walked off together, so he needs to come on here and show his quality to try and break down this West Ham team.
Of course, he could inadvertently do his old club Liverpool a favour. West Ham, one of the teams competing with Liverpool for a place in the top four. Let's check the latest odds with 888 Sport. If you fancy Brighton to win, they're currently 5.0. The draw is 2.0. West Ham 2.6. Those are the latest odds from 888 Sport. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. Pat on the back for Steven Alzate from members of the Brighton backroom team. Graham Potter in his black puffer jacket, deep in conversation with his coaching staff. Spends the whole game perched inside the technical area. So is David Moyes to his right. David Moyes, who this week was named the Manager of the Year at the London Football Awards. Don't think too many people will argue with that. West Ham looking to finish in the top six for the first time since 1999. They're already, David Connolly, 19 points better off than they were at this stage last season.
Yeah, they fifth bottom. Absolutely incredible turnaround. So, rightly so, Manager of the Year. Done a brilliant job.
Here's Ben Rama trying to do a brilliant job on Brighton. He pokes the ball away from the sliding webs to Byrne was there, and it's Ben White who comes across. They all know their jobs, this Brighton backline. They work so well in tandem, even without Lewis Dunk. I know many Brighton fans feared the worst when he was sent off against Wolverhampton Wanderers. They lost that game by 2-1, but they're very much in this one. 69 played. You're listening to Game Day on TalkSport. So Alex Crook and David Connolly, your commentary team. It's currently Brighton 0, West Ham 0. Time running out for the Hammers. It was a forlorn hope anyway in terms of the Champions League places, David. If they don't win this game, that dream will definitely be over.
Yeah, which, look, I think it would have been some achievement anyway, but all they can do is just keep going, just keep doing their best game, and look, they've got a good run. I think the winnable games, aren't they? But none of them are easy. no game is easy in the Premier League, you know, so to get the points they have and the turnaround, I looked at their goals, they conceded 62 last season, that was the 5th worst as well. So, you know, in all areas, this team, this club is something now that West Ham fans can be really rightly proud of.
Well, they lost 1-0 on April the 24th, and that was the first time that they dropped out of the top 5 since January. They've been mainstays in that European picture, but they have started to lose games, started to concede goals just at the wrong time of the season. Maybe it's as a result of pressure, maybe it's just the season taking its toll.
Well, also they've got 14 players probably that, you know, that David Moyes likes to settle 11. He doesn't have a breadth or a depth of the other side in the top 4, top 5, top 6, does he?
Here's Fornals down the left-hand side. Cresswell into Jesse Lingard, who's hugging that far touchline. 20 minutes remaining. 0-0 the score. Fornals trying to stretch the Brighton defence. Lingard comes deep again and then just tries to glide it through. Soufal, who was on the edge of the penalty area, but Brighton get it away. And Basuma trying to release Welbeck. The idea was right, not quite the execution. The ball skips away from Welbeck, who applauds the efforts, and West Ham have a throw.
Yeah, good central defensive midfield play here by Basuma. Read the little disguise pass from Lingard and then broke the play up, and that comes back to, you know, if they had someone with that pace in behind, so he picked up and it was right to hit that ball over the top to Danny Welbeck, and it was slightly ahead of him, but maybe somebody else, a little bit quicker, would have got on the end of it.
But somebody else might well be Percy Tau. The South African striker is just getting ready to come on down below. It's just taken off his blue tracksuit top, kicks it from underneath his studs and makes his way down to the touchline to get his final instructions from Graham Potter. Both managers now utilising their benches to try and turn 1 point into 3. I think a draw would be a much more satisfactory result for the Seagulls than it would be for West Ham. Would also continue an improved home run here at the Amex, which hasn't always been the case this season. They've won 2 of their last 3 here after 2 in 23 before that. Something has changed in recent weeks in that regard. Here is Ben Rama on the right touchline, chalking his boots. Ben Rama taking on Dan Burn and then playing it into Soufal. Soufal tried to move it quickly into the penalty area. Pass couldn't find his pal Soucek, and cleared away by Brighton for a West Ham throw just inside their own half. Percy Tau bunny hopping, ready to come on like a coiled spring, the South African. And Fornals here is maybe seizing on a bit of hesitancy from Sanchez, who came out. Sanchez didn't commit himself to go for the ball. Fornals took it round him and then dinked the cross straight into the goalkeeper's arm.
Oh, better ball in here from Fornals. I mean, it's a good pick out from Lingard, who just dropped deep in around the halfway line, spotted the run of Fornals. Sanchez came out, then he stopped. I think he thought about Fabianski in that first half, how he overcommitted himself. In the end, he redeemed himself, just used those long limbs of his and just clutched that cross out the sky.
I think in some ways Fornals was surprised that the goalkeeper didn't commit, and that almost clouded his judgment. And that was why the end product was so poor. Percy Tau still waiting to come on.
Yeah, he was so wide though. Yeah, I don't think he had any real option. He was near enough on the end line. He had to really cross it in the box. It was just poor execution.
Don't forget, more live Premier League football tomorrow for you here on TalkSport 2 midday. Crystal Palace taking on Aston Villa. And then at 8 o'clock tomorrow night we'll have live commentary of the Women's Champions League final. Chelsea going for glory in that competition 24 hours after their Mal counterparts beaten by Leicester today, 1-0 live on TalkSport in the FA Cup final. Percy Tau is coming on for Jahanbakhsh, David Conley.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see whether it's just a light-for-light change in terms of positionally. I mean, look, he had a bright sort of 10-15 minutes at the start of that second half, but I guess if they weren't safe, maybe didn't have too much to play for Brighton, maybe Jahanbakhsh might not have got much game time anyway, but he didn't really take his chance tonight.
Percy Tau, the first South African to play in the Premier League since Stephen Pienaar at Everton. Still waiting for his first Brighton goal, spent last season on loan at Anderlecht. Did well there in Belgium. He will probably go and play alongside Danny Welbeck, although at the moment he's dropping deep into midfield. We have 16 minutes remaining. Still Brighton 0, West Ham 0. West Ham has scored 55 goals this season. That's their third best tally in any Premier League season. They haven't been able to find one tonight. They haven't really looked like finding one, David.
Yeah. But look, that's no surprise. I mean, we've seen Brighton here so many times, haven't we? Hard to break down, like to have the ball, so it's no mean feat.
Here's Modder after some fancy footwork from Trossard to release him down this near touchline. West Ham with enough black-shirted defenders back to clear the danger, and then it's launched long by Ben Rama, and this time Sanchez does commit. Sweeper keeper side foots it away midway inside his own half, with Antonio ready to pounce on any mistake. I think this defensive performance tonight from Brighton has to be seen as even more impressive because Lewis Dunk isn't playing.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you mentioned Ben White. I mean, he is so quick. I mean, he's so short there with the pass from Basuma, but he makes the ground up and he covers across as well at the back. I mean, he's got everything, hasn't he, Ben White?
Lallana angles a pass out to Tao in the right corner of the penalty area. Brighton coming forward away to the left-hand side, but it's cleared by Cresswell. And then Bonner with a powerful header from 5 yards outside his own penalty area. He managed to head it all the way into the Brighton half. I'm not sure I could kick it that far. Here's Webster. Coming up to join the attack, and he passed it out to the right-hand side. He passed it behind Gross, and West Ham have a throw.
Yeah, talking about that far, I mean, they just haven't moved that back line for West Ham. They finally have now.
Lingard again coming forward. They've done a really good job, Brighton, on stopping him being able to dictate the game as he has against many opponents since arriving on loan in London's East End. 0-0 it remains, and that's a tired pass, I think, from Trossard out the left looking for Welbeck, and I wonder if he might be coming off soon enough.
Well, I think he was fouled a little bit from Antonio, so the ref has given him that. I think he tried to play the advantage. And just looking at West Ham, they just sat in a little bit, you know, a little bit weary, and I have seen this at Craven Cottage, for example, under the cosh for a little bit, and they dug in, got a point, but they probably need 3 here.
Brighton need 4 points from their final 3 matches to set a new club record in a single Premier League campaign. You have to say this is probably their best chance of victory, bearing in mind they welcome the champions Manchester City on Tuesday live on Talk Sport, and then travel to Arsenal on the final day of the season. At the moment they will be 1 point closer to that record-breaking haul, because there are only 11 minutes plus added time to go, and it's still goalless on game day on Talk Sport 2. Don't forget, next week, by the way, the playoffs swinging to action. 2 live games for the Championship on Monday night as Bournemouth welcome Brentford to the Vitality Stadium. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff, followed by Swansea against Barnsley. Both of those matches live here on Talk Sport 2. On Tuesday I'll be at Oxford as they take on Blackpool in League 1. Newport County playing Forest Green the same night in League 2. And we'll have commentary of every semi-final and all 3 finals across the Talk Sport network, your home of the EFL. Here is Webster playing it forward to the Brighton substitute Adam Lallana. Just glides across the turf, doesn't he, at times Lallana. Here's Trossard pirouetting away from Declan Rice and playing it into Lallana again. Bet against the late Brighton winner. Been a good second half from Graham Potter's side. West Ham having had the better of the limited number of chances that did come in the opening 45 minutes. Haven't really been able to put Robert Sanchez and that Brighton defence under anywhere near as much pressure as Moyes would have been hoping over the course of the evening. Here is Sanchez, the Spanish goalkeeper. Plays it out to the right-hand side. Welbeck trying to get there ahead of Dawson, brings it down the chest. Dan Burn is the furthest player forward, but Welbeck actually tries to switch the play to Tao. Handball shout from Graham Potter as Cresswell chested it down. And here come West Ham down their left-hand side. Jesse Lingard taking up that wide position, rolling it through to Antonio, and Antonio tried to outmuscle the Brighton defender, and he's been penalised for a foul. Looked like a fair shoulder barge to me on Adam Webster, but the free kick has been given, David Connolly. Yeah, I think it's a little bit too obvious, this one, and I can understand what Antonio is saying here, but I think you've got to be a little bit cuter. Put the defender on a little bit of pressure, but I don't think you can shove him quite as much as Antonio did there. Spotted the run, Lingard in behind. They both just had a little bit of a coming together, but yeah, it's probably the right call. We hit double figures last season, Mikel Antonio, in the Premier League, courtesy of a 4-goal haul at Carrow Road against Norwich late in the campaign. He's 1 goal shy of that 10-goal tally, and he hasn't really looked like scoring tonight. Working tirelessly for the team as always, as Brighton attack down their right. O'Connor will just usher that ball behind for a goal kick under pressure from Pascal Gross. And West Ham, David Connolly, have 11 minutes to find a winner.
Yeah, but he does give them a lot more than just goals. But granted, they might need somebody else, and I guess that's what West Ham fans will say. In January, sure, we got another centre forward, so that in games like this, where we need someone to make the difference, or when Antonio was out, they obviously had Lingard and other players chipping in with goals. But really, when it comes to the crunch, are they going to have missed out in certain games because maybe they didn't have quite the firepower?
I should direct your attention to the Game Day podcast, which will be out on Monday morning. Sam Matterface, myself and an ex-Premier League player, picking out all the big talking points from the weekend. You can download that from all the usual podcast providers. We'll be talking about a late West Ham winner here. 0-0 as Declan Rice powers forward from midfield. He plays it out to the right-hand side, and Soufal switching onto his left foot. Good ball in. All four now's in two minds. Didn't know whether to maybe go for an acrobatic overhead kick or help it onto a teammate, and that indecision allows Brighton to clear the danger.
Yeah, he just tried a little flick finish. Ball was slightly behind him, and I think he could have controlled that and had a little swivel in the box. I don't think he had to try and attempt a little clever flick.
Looks like there might be more action on the Brighton bench very shortly. Meanwhile, West Ham come forward on the left-hand side. Looked like Soucek was in an offside position. The flag stayed down. And it's Cresswell with a deep cross into the centre. Byrne heads it away, and it will be picked up by Trossard with room to turn and roll it forward down that right-hand side. Andy Zakiri, a Swiss striker, will be the next player to come on for Brighton. Here's Tau, the diminutive South African, playing it to Lallana on the halfway line. Lallana fizzes the pass out to the left, and Byrne, off balance, still managed to find Welbeck. And here's Modder back to Dan Byrne again. I'm impressed with how quickly the Brighton subs get changed. Zakiri already is on the touchline, ready to come on, having only seconds ago got this indication from Graham Potter. It's like stars in your eyes. Remember that smoky room, 1 minute you're a normal person, the next you're Elvis Presley.
Well, I'm sure you spend a lot of time in those smoky rooms, Alex, but not me.
Here is
betting shops and all that.
Lingard for West Ham. Betting shops are not like that
No,
anymore.
no, I'm joking. It's all online now anyway. So I hear.
Taken 82 minutes today. 0-0 the score between Brighton and West Ham.
You were hoping
with a cross.
You were hoping for a clean sheet today, weren't you? No betting references, but there's always one.
No hope. Corner for West Ham.
Is she still running? No hope.
Sounds like most of the horses that I back. Cresswell will take the corner. That's David Connolly, the former Republic of Ireland international. Part-time stand-up here on TalkSport 2. Will be no laughing matter for Graham Potter if Brighton were to concede from this corner. Andy Zakiri is going to come on before the corner is taken, I think, is he? That's the cardinal sin. But Brighton have sensibly delayed that decision. Cresswell with the ball into the penalty area. It bounces away from Ogbonna. Went all the way across the 18-yard box. Here's Ben Rama to put it back into the 6-yard area. It's a free header from Dawson. It's a yard wide. That's a huge opportunity for West Ham United to score a priceless goal in their pursuit of European football, and Dawson couldn't hit the target.
Yeah, it's a really good chance. It's a crowded box, congested area. Brilliant ball in from Ben Rama, and it's straight into the head of Dawson. He's just trying to guide it into that far corner. Gets a good contact on it, unlike that one in the first half, and I think he's expecting that to Nesso in the far corner, but just flashes past the post. It was really close.
Andy Zakiri is coming on for Leandro Trossard. Not the best night of Trossard's Brighton career. You're listening to Brighton against West Ham on TalkSport 2 with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Don't part exchange, get money off your next car. Go to WeBuyAnyCar.com. Looks a bit frustrated, Leandro Trossard, David.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've huffed and puffed, but when I look at how Everton scored their goal against West Ham, it was from, Godfrey picking out the run of Calvert-Lewin across the face, and, Dawson just switched off. There's at times where Welbeck comes off and Dawson goes with him. That's where I expected Trossard to be getting across the front of Ogbonna, and he never really made that run, and I think it'd be better with a proper recognised striker up there. Working in tandem, a pair of them.
Well, here's Tao trying to work in tandem with Danny Welbeck, and he's slid it through for Welbeck. He's lifted it over the goalkeeper, and he's rolled it into the back of the net. And that might just be a hammer blow to West Ham's hopes of European football next season. Danny Welbeck with the coolest of finishes beyond the onrushing Fabianski. David Moyes looks at the ground in frustration, because with 7 minutes to go, it is Brighton 1, West Ham 0.
Well, it's that movement again. We saw this against Everton. Really clever. Percy Tau gets into the little pocket. Lallana picks it up, feeds it into Tau just off the front, and there's that movement in behind. I mean, Soufal steps up, trying to play offside, but he's got to go with a runner. As it is, we saw this Calvert-Lewin do the same. Welbeck streaks away, and then he just dinks it over the onrushing Fabianski. Lovely little cute finish.
We welcome listeners from Talk Sport. 50 not out for Danny Welbeck. The half-century is up in the Premier League. David Moyes, hopefully, was watching a video replay, looking for the hint of offside. There wasn't one. He timed his run to perfection. The finish was calm, as you like, from Danny Welbeck. Scores against West Ham for the 5th time in his career. And David Connolly, how big a blow will that be for the visitors?
Yeah, I mean, finally though, Brighton have sort of got something for their efforts. Had an awful lot of the ball, but very rarely threatened. Didn't get the ball into the front with that bit of quality, but finally they risk possession. You know, there's Lallana punching the ball into Percy Tau off the front, gets turned, faces forward, spots the runner Welbeck. Really good run, threatening in behind, and as I said, we saw Calvert-Lewin do it. They haven't done it enough tonight, Brian, but they've done it once, and I think obviously Fabianski had no choice really. He had to come out, but maybe that made Welbeck's mind up. Lovely little dink finish, lifted finish over him.
And West Ham United have 4 minutes to save themselves. Brighton 1, West Ham 0. And it will be 4 defeats in 5 matches. West Ham, who have excelled for much of the season, have lost that winning habit just at the wrong time. It looks like defeat here at the Amex Stadium. Brighton, who've been stubborn defensively, haven't created a plethora of goal-scoring opportunities, but when they did create one, Danny Welbeck with the perfect finish beyond Fabianski.
And I guess vindication, right? Because when he was making all these changes, you'd probably think Welbeck, you know, might be one of them that would come off.
Here's Ben Rama on the edge of the penalty area. Squeezes the pass through for Antonio. Again, Brighton with enough bodies to make it impossible for West Ham to get a shot away. Lingard's cross is blocked by Webster. It ricochets for Ben Rama. I think Graham Potter is urging his side to get higher up the pitch. They're sitting just a bit too deep as the cross is thrust in by Ben Rama. It's not really cleared away. Dan Burn can't dive in. Dawson forward from the back. How big that spurned opportunity for him now. Here's Soufal, gets to the byline, crosses, and a diving header away by Ben White. Ben Rama on the follow-up! Brilliant goal! Save Ben Rama! Scores in a West Ham shirt for the first time, and maybe the European dream is still alive. The cross from Soufal, only half cleared, and when it came to Ben Rama, he curled it right-footed into the corner from fully 20 yards to make it Brighton 1, West Ham 1. What a finish!
What a great goal. Superb curling effort past Sanchez, but I tell you what, Soufal does superb here. Receives the ball in the box, his first touch takes him past Webster, little cross, cleared to the edge of the box. There's Ben Rama, one touch to set himself, and he bends this outside the post and it curls back in. Look, it's got to be something special to beat Sanchez, and it is.
Well, never mind David Beckham, he bent it like Ben Rama, and David Moyes punches the air in jubilation as we welcome listeners from Talk Sport. No sooner have West Ham fallen behind than Ben Rama has conjured a magical equaliser, and they've still got 2 minutes, West Ham, to claim all 3 points. What a finish here at the Amex. Antonio trying to find Lingard. It's chipped only into the gloves of the goalkeeper Sanchez. David Connolly.
Well, I tell you what, Soufal might not get an assist for that because his cross in the box was cleared, but his first touch to take him away past Webster in the box was absolutely sensational. It really was. That's that quality and craft, and that's why the 2 fullbacks for West Ham have done so well this season. But I mean, the finish from Ben Rama, I criticised him last week against Everton. I thought he was really inconsistent. Brilliant against Burnley, and that'll give him so much confidence coming off the bench and grabbing a goal.
Here's Declan Rice for West Ham. They believe all of a sudden that not only are they going to come back and take a point, they might take all three. The pass is heavy. Souček can't keep it in play, and with 1 minute to play plus stoppage time, it's Brighton 1, West Ham 1. And I've been told there will be 3 added minutes, David Connolly, at the end of the 90. They couldn't, could they?
West Ham, well, I think anyone could win this now. Absolutely anybody. I mean, they've got to go for broke. Make no mistake, West Ham, they've got to go for it.
And if they do, how big a moment that strike from Ben Rama. Oh. Antonio into Jesse Lingard. Oh, he could have got the shot away first time. He delayed it. Not for the first time tonight. He's screaming for handball, Lingard. He's chasing the referee, Andre Mariner, all the way to the halfway line. VAR will be checking that. He claims his cross flicked off the arm of a Brighton defender. Not sure why he didn't shoot first time.
No, absolutely. It's on his left peg. That's probably why, but just let fly. I mean, he tried to get it back onto his right, and I think then the opportunity's lost.
Here's Declan Rice for West Ham. They believe they can win the game in extraordinary circumstances here at the Amex. Having fallen behind, Danny Welbeck with the opener with only 6 minutes remaining. It looked all over. But Ben Rama had other ideas. 3 added minutes just confirmed by the 4th official on the electronic ball down on the touchline. Here is Ben Rama clipping it into the area. That's far too close to Sanchez. David Moyes is absolutely furious with that delivery.
Well, it's hard to be critical, you know, when you scored a goal like this, but just going back to that chance from Lingard, could have got a shot up on his left, and he tried to put it back in the box with his right. Might have brushed the arm of Webster, but you know who did really well to slow him up was again Ben White. He is so quick, covers the ground really, really well. He's been really impressive.
His arm was down by his side, Adam Webster, and the rule says now, are you using it to make your body bigger? I don't think he was on that occasion. Lingard did a pretty good job to try and convince the referee. In fairness, Andre Mariner just turned away. He's given 9 penalties this season, Andre Mariner, but hasn't been in any mood to point to the spot tonight. We're 1 minute into 3 added on. Brighton 1, West Ham 1. Terrific second half here at the Amex Stadium. The point, in all honesty, wouldn't have suited David Moyes before the game. It would have suited him when Danny Welbeck fired Brighton into the lead with only 6 minutes to play. A brilliant equaliser from Saeed Ben Rama.
Well, one thing's really important now, Alex, is you don't lose 2 in a row. You know, and they've shown character this season. Look at the Tottenham game where they came back. At Fulham, you know, they dug in for a point after a really tough run of games, expended a lot of energy, and they've come back again here.
They'll have to go again. They take on West Bromwich Albion in midweek, West Ham, and then Southampton at home on the final day. They are winnable fixtures. If they are to get in Europe next season, they might have to win them both. Basuma shoots from miles out, ends up nearer the corner flag than the back of the net, and Fabianski sprinting to retrieve the ball and take this goal kick in the final minute of added on time. Now or never, as far as West Ham are concerned. Fabianski just kicks his studs against the left hand upright. All in green, the West Ham goalkeeper. No clean sheet for him on his 100th appearance for the club. He's found Souček on the halfway line, but his header intercepted by Lallana. And here's Percy Tau raiding down the Brighton right. They've got to get it back here, West Ham. Souček's done that. Will there be one last attack from the visitors? Declan Rice with the unerring pass out to that left-hand side. Fornals leading the charge now. We have 20 seconds of stoppage time to play, and the ball is knocked out of touch by Souček, who looks shattered, and it will be a throw-in for Brighton. I think probably, David, the chance of victory is gone.
Yeah, and I think word you use there, shattered, I think that could be West Ham in a nutshell. You know, he's used a lot of these players that started this game. This is first choice 11, more or less. He doesn't have too many else that he relies upon, 13, 14 players, and they've given it their all this season, and they show character, as I said, again, to come back here. But it might just be a stretch too far in terms of that top 4, you know, Champions League, but nonetheless, it's been a superb season for him.
Well, there is the full-time whistle. We had to wait until the final 6 minutes of the game for any real goal-mouth drama, but my word, when it came, was it worth the wait? Danny Welbeck with a brilliant finish one-on-one against Lucas Fabianski to put Brighton in front with his 50th Premier League goal. It looked at that stage as if West Ham will be heading for another defeat during this recent downturn in form, but Saeed Benrahma off the bench had other ideas. A curling effort from 20 yards out, no chance for Sanchez. What a way for him to score his first West Ham goal. A point, in all honesty, does little for the Hammers' hopes of bringing European football to the London Stadium next season. But my word, David Moyes would have taken it when Welbeck broke the deadlock. Full time here at the Amex. Brighton 1, West Ham 1.